Hello guys, welcome to Name Tech channel. My name is Nehemiah, and guys, I'm very much happy to have you on board. And so today we are going to discuss on the HTML5 complete course for beginners. And guys, before we get started, please support me by subscribing and also like the video. I'll appreciate very much. And so first of all, let's understand what is HTML. So HTML in full, it stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it is the standard markup language for creating web pages. And HTML describes the structures of a web page. So basically, it is HTML that describes the structure of a web page. Like this is a heading, this is a paragraph, this is a bold text, and so forth. And also HTML consists of a series of elements we are going to discuss as we go on. And HTML tells the browser how to display the content. And so guys, if you are a beginner, you don't need to have an advanced text editor. You can use a notepad, which usually comes with with your operating system. So you're going to the search bar here, and you're going to type what? You're going to type notepad, notepad, and then here it is. So you're going to select it, and guys, I want to give you the structure of the HTML document. And so guys, once you have opened your text editor, this notepad, the first thing that you write is the code that tells the browser that this is the HTML version I'm using. So like HTML5 is the latest version, and the code to define it is you begin with an angle bracket. Remember, the HTML elements usually have the start tag, the content, and the closing tag. So that is the HTML element. So like remember this declaration for defining the HTML version you're using does not have the the closing tag or whichever. So you begin with an angle bracket, then you write an exclamation mark, and then you're going to type what? You're going to type a doc type, and then HTML space, then HTML in small letter, and then you're going to do what? You're going to close. So with this line of code, guys, you're going to define that this is a HTML5 document. So this basically tells the browser that this is the HTML5 that I'm using. Remember, we have the previous version like XHTML and the rest. Now the next thing now to write here is the root of the document. So to define that this is a HTML, this HTML document, we use this HTML, and then you close. Remember, now this is the start tag, and then content will go here. But now let me create the closing tag first of all. So the closing tag, you're going to write what? You're going to write the angle bracket, but now with the forward slash like that, and then you're going to type what? You're going to type HTML, and then you close. So basically this defines the root of a document, like this is a HTML document. And then now guys, the next thing that usually follow is the head. So remember, the head, you can have the the meta information about the HTML page, like it can contain the CSS. This is where you can link your CSS, you can link your you can have the title of your page. So now you write the the head. So the head also, it has the start tag and the end tag. So you just write head, and then you do what? You close you close with an angle bracket, and then guys, I told you that it usually have the closing tag. So you must close, otherwise it will not function. So the closing tag, you just write it the same, but it's after the angle brackets, it has the forward slash. Then you're going to type head. You're going to type head, and then you close. So now let me first of all create some space here. So now in this heading, you can have something like the title. So for title, let me try to add it here. So let me just write here title, yeah, title. Then you do what? You close with the angle bracket, and then the other thing that I'm going to write here is the closing tag of the title. So for title, I'm going to write the angle bracket, then the closing tag, and then I'm going to type what? Title, yeah, title, then you close. So like when I say here, let me say this is my title, or what I do, guys, let me try to make it appear in a single line so that you can understand very well. Let me add it here, and then let me say this is my title. This is my title. This is my title. So this title will just appear at the tab, the head section of your it will just appear at the tab section. So now in the after you are done with the heading, the next thing that usually follows the body. Remember, the body is if you want anything to appear on your page, so you must write in the body section. So you begin also with the angle bracket, then you write body, and then you do what you close, and then you remember the closing tag. The closing tag is just the angle bracket, and then the forward slash, then you repeat what body, then you do what you close with the angle bracket, the closing angle bracket for greater than. So now once you have it here, guys, before you do anything, guys, let's save this document, and then let's view it in our browser. So now to save this document, you're going to the file here, and then you're going to save. You're going to save, and then you're going to select the place where you're going to save your document. Like let me save it where? Let me save at the downloads. Let me save it here at the downloads, and then the file name, guys. Now this is important, you need to note this. So like you can give it any name, like index, but now the key thing that you need to consider is this extension, this file path dot html. So guys, with this kind of extension, you are going to define that this is a HTML document. So now let's save. And so guys, once you have saved, now the next thing now is to open that document. So open your file explorer, and then go where you had saved your document. So I had saved it where? Here at the downloads, and then here it is, index here, this index file. It has a Chrome logo because Chrome is my default browser. For yours it can be Microsoft Edge or whichever it is, but for me my default browser is Chrome. That's why it is displaying the Chrome logo. So you're going to click on it and open, and then guys, you can see here at the top here I have the title here. I said that this is my title. Like for example, let me try to change, and you see. So let me say here, let me give it any name, like let me say HTML5 HTML5 tutorials, and then you save. Control plus S is to save, and then to your browser, guys, you refresh. Let me refresh, and you see. And so guys, you can see here the tab section I have HTML5 tutorials. So now you can see our page is now blank because we haven't written anything in the body section. So now guys, I want us to write something here at the body. So the next thing that guys, I want us to discuss is the paragraph. So now the paragraph, we use the p tag to define that this is a paragraph. Or before we discuss paragraph, first of all let's discuss the heading. Remember guys, you have with the HTML you have H1 to H6. So H1 defines that this is the largest heading, and then H6 defines that this is the least heading. It goes in that hierarchy. Like let me say H1, and then you close. I said that the HTML element usually have the start tag, the content, and the closing tag. So like for content, let me say heading 1, let me say, or let me say let me say heading 1, and then open and close the angle brackets. Then you do what? You close the tag, the HTML tags element. So you close with what? This tag H1. Remember, the closing tag resembles the start tag, but the difference that this has the forward slash just of the angle, the less than angle bracket, and then you do what? You close. So guys, I want us to see this title in our browser. So let me save and then guys, let's see in our browser. Here it's my browser. Let me refresh. To refresh is control plus control plus R. But guys, you can see I have this heading here. Let me try to zoom in so that you can see it very well. So guys, this is the H1 and that we've just written here in our text editor. And then now guys, I want us to duplicate and make it 6, and you are going to see why I said that. Let me try to duplicate. Let me copy and then do it. Let me just paste it here. 2 then 3 4 5 6. So here I'm going to say this H2 then here H3, here it should be H4, this should be H5, and then this one it should be H6. Also in this other end, let me change. This one is H2, H3, H4, this one is H5, and this one is H6, and then also in this other end, let me change to H2, H3, let me give it H4, this one is H5, this one is H6. So basically I say that H1 defines that this is the largest heading, H2 the least, H3 that smaller than H2, H4 smaller than H3, H5 smaller than H4, then H6 smaller than H5. So it goes in that order. So let me save, and then let's see in our browser. To refresh is just control plus R, or you can use this this icon here. So guys, you can see we have the headings here. H1 I say that it's the largest heading, and then guys, you can see it goes in that order, so up to H6. So basically this is the heading. This is how to define a heading. Now the next thing now is to discuss about the paragraph. So with the paragraph, we use the p tag to define a paragraph, and before that guys, I want us to add here the line, the horizontal line that can split this, like it can split this heading from the paragraph. So let me use the HR. We use the HR to define the horizontal line. So HR, and guys, remember HR is the remnant of XHTML, so it does not have the closing tag, so it's just a self closing tag. So when you write HR, then let's save and see, and then do it. Let me refresh. Control plus R is to refresh, and then guys, you can see you have the horizontal line here at the bottom. Now the next thing that I want us to discuss is the paragraph. To define a paragraph, we use the p tag. So like you just write the angle bracket start. Before anything, let me just create some space down here so that you may see what I'm doing here. So now to define a paragraph, we use the p tag. You begin the the start tag, which is p, and then you close. Now the content, you're going to write your content for paragraph. So like let me say my name, or let me say what, let me say HTML stands for hypertext markup. I don't know if this is the spelling for markup language. It defines the structures of our web page. So let me just use this one, and guys, you remember you close with what, with the closing tag. So the closing tag is just this angle bracket for less than, and then the /, then you repeat p tag, and then you close with the angle bracket for greater than. And so guys, let's first of all save and see some changes in the browser. Let's go to our browser and refresh. And so guys, you can see at the bottom here we have the this text, but there's something that you have realized here, that when we split the line, like when we have splitted here, let me try to let's do this. Let me try to create some space here. So you're going to realize that this text, even if we have splitted here in the browser, is going to be just a single line. Let's save and see. So in our browser guys, when we refresh Ctrl plus R, or let me click on this one guys, we are going to see that we just have the single line. So now to break these lines in a paragraph, or in whichever it is, whichever element it is, we are going to use what? We are going to use the BR, the break tag. It's also the remnant of XHTML. It is just a self closing tag. So you are going to write what? You are going to write BR for break tag, or a line break. So when you save, you're going to find that this line will go to another line. So let's view and see, and refresh, and then guys, you can see here at the bottom that it has gone to another line. So basically this how it is. But now guys, I want us to add here, let me add here CSS, so that I can view this page in on here the midis. You don't have to do that. I'm just doing it for the sake of tutorial, so for the sake of making you understand better this CSS. But allow me just to add it here. I'm going to use here an inline CSS. So let me say div, and then the closing tag for div, and then here let me say let me say style, and then here I'm going to say margin top. Let me give it 500 a pixel. Guys, you don't have to do this. I'm just doing to make some space here on our browser, so that you can see it very well. Let me refresh. So guys, I've just done that, so to make some space here at the bottom for you to see what we are doing here. And so now guys, the other thing that I want us to do is to talk about the formatting, the HTML formatting. Before anything guys, let me talk more about these HTML elements. So first of all, what is a HTML element? I say that a HTML element is defined by the start tag, some content, and an end tag. Like for this heading, we've used this is the start tag. This is the start tag. Then now this is our content. This is the content now. This is the content, and then now this is the closing tag. Closing tag is just similar as the start tag, but the difference that it has what? It has the closing tag here, the forward slash here, just after this angle bracket for less than. So basically these are the HTML elements. So now the other thing that I want us to talk about is the HTML text formatting. So I want to show you stuff concerning the the HTML, how to make a text bold, italic, subscript, superscript, small, and so forth. Before anything else, let me try to create some more paragraphs here. Let me create several lines. By the way, let me remove this break tag here, and then let me just copy, or let me do this. Let me just copy this line. Let me just I hate typing a lot. I hate repeating myself. So let me just paste it there, and then now guys, I want us to talk about the text formatting in HTML. So now the first thing that I want us to begin is to make a text bold. Like guys, to make a text bold in HTML, we use the B tag, B for boy. We use the B tag. So you specify the place where you want to add that text to be bold. Like for me, let me try to make this text to here. make it a bold. So I'm going to use the B tag, B for boy. So you begin with the start tag B, and then you close, and then you go where you want your bold text to end. So I want it to end here. I want to end here, the end here. So let me do this. You open the angle bracket for less than, then the forward slash, and then you're going to type what? You're going to type a B for boy, and then you do what? You close with the angle bracket for greater than. So basically these are HTML element. Remember I said that it has the start tag, the content, and the closing tag. So with this tag we've defined that these are bold text. So first of all, let me save, and then I'll see what in our browser. To save is just Ctrl+S to the shortcut, but you can go to the file here, then you click on the save here, but the shortcut is just Ctrl+S. And then now guys, let's go to the browser, and then let me refresh. To refresh is just Ctrl+R, or you can use this icon here to refresh. And so guys, you can see that we say that hypertext markup language is a bold. We added what? We added this the tag for bold. We made this text to be bold. Remember that these tags, or these tags will never appear on your browser, but they are just used to display how content should appear in the browser, on your web page. Now the other thing that I want us to talk about is to make a text italic. So I want us to make this text to be italic, like this second line. I want to make it italic. So we are going to use what? We are going to use I tag for italic. Like in this place, I'm going to type what? The I tag, and then you close, and then you're going to place it where you want it to end. So I want it to end here. So I'm going to place here the I tag, actually beginning the forward slash, and then you type what? I tag, then you close. So now this is the closing tag for the italic text. So let me save, and then let me go to my browser, and then guys, I'm going to use the shortcut Ctrl+R, and guys, you can see that this text is italic. Let me try to zoom in, so that you can see very well. And so you can see that this text is italic. Now the other thing that I want us to talk about is to make some highlights, or to mark elements. So let me go to this text editor, and then now first of all, let me see the text that we can make it or let me say HTML. This HTML and also this HTML, let me try to make them to mark them, or to highlight on it. So let me go to where HTML is, and then here I'm going to say what? You begin with the start tag. The start tag, which is mark. Let me say mark, and then you do what? You close, and then it ends here. So I'm going to add what? The closing tag for mark, and then you just write mark, and then you do what? You close, and then let me save, and then see the changes in the browser, and let me refresh, and then guys, you can see that this HTML part is it's marked. It is now yellow. We have highlighted. So guys, you can see how beautiful it is. And then the other thing that I want us to talk about is the strong. So the strong text is just like the bold, but it has some more details on it, but it's just similar with the bold text. Like this HTML, let's make it a bold text. So I'm going to use strong. Just strong is the same as bold, but I always don't know the meaning, the difference. So strong, and then here the at the end of the HTML, you're going to use what? Strong. Closing the forward slash, and then strong, and then you do what? You close. So guys, let me save, and then you can see the changes in the browser. To refresh, just Ctrl+R, and then guys, you can see that this text is strong. Similar with the bold text. And let me say what? Let me say here. Let me create another line. Let me create another line here, and let me create a p tag. Then let me say HTML without CSS is very ugly. It's very ugly. And then let me do it. Let me close with this closing tag. This is what P. And then now, guys, I want to make this tag, to have some cross here. We are going to use the delete del. So let me say del, and then you do what you close with this closing tag, and then you are going to place it where you want it to end. And then you are going to use what? You are going to use this /, and then you are going to add what? Del. Then you close with an angle bracket for greater than. So let me save, and then let me go to my browser, and then I do what? Let me refresh, and then guys, you can see that we've crossed this text. That CSS without HTML without CSS is very ugly, and then we've crossed this text. So we have deleted. Yeah. Now what else should we discuss on the text formatting? Or let me try to say subscript, to add a subscript. So let me say, when is today? Today is March 22nd. Or let me just say, let me add here, let me say let me use H1. Let me say H1, and then let me first of all close and with the H1, and then let me say it is, when is today? Today is 22nd, so 22nd. Then I want to make this text have to be the superscript second, and then 2022. So what I'm going to do, guys, first of all, let's view this page in our browser. So right now it's just a normal text. Let me refresh, and then guys, you can see it's just a normal text, but I want us to make this text appear here at the top. So to do that, we're going to use the subscript tag. So you're going to place where you want it to be to start. So here, I want it to start here, so I'm going to use sub. But remember, guys, that HTML is not case sensitive like other programming languages. So you can just write, you can use the caps, or I can use small letters, but I always recommend to use the small letters to define these HTML tags elements. So sub for subscript, and then here you close with what? The closing tag. The same the first the start tag, but it has the /. Then you write sub. So let me save. Control+S is to save, and then here let me refresh. Control+R is to refresh. Oh guys, this is subscript. It should be superscript, but you can see that subscripts also work. Let's now change it to superscript. So the superscript, we are going to use what? We are going to use a soup tag. Let me just change it to soup. So let me save, and then at my browser, let me refresh. Control+R, and then guys, you can see we have our subscript. And so guys, the other thing that I want us to talk about is the HTML attributes. So basically, the HTML attributes, they add more information about the HTML element. For example, if you use the image tag, you can add attribute to define the width, the height of the image, and so forth. So let's try this example. Let me first of all place the image in this same folder for downloads, where my my HTML file is. So let me open the file explorer, and then I guess I want to add here an image here at this same folder for downloads. Otherwise it will not work. Let me try to get an image here from my previous projects, and then let me go to the projects, and then for example, let me choose just any, from this portfolio. Let me just take any image here. Let me use which one? Let me copy this one, or which one? Let me copy this one, and then let me copy it to downloads. Let me just copy it there. And then now once it's there, let me first of all confirm. Yeah guys, you can see I have the image here. So guys, what I'm going to do, and so guys, let me change the name so that it may be easy for us to identify it. So like let me just give it image, the name to be image, and then I do it. Let me close this window. And then now guys, I want to make you understand more about the attribute, the HTML attributes. And then I'm going to use the image tag, like the image tag we use img. So img define that this is an image, and then we have the closing tag of the image img. And so now with this image tag, we are going to add here another attribute. So attribute, you have the the property and the value. So like the property can be C for source, and then equal sign, and then you're going to do what you're going to specify the image with the you can use a single or a double quotation mark, and then here you are going to specify that image here. So it was image, and then remember the file name or the file type is, let me open the Explorer and see. So this image is JPG file. So you write the file name, it is image, and then you end with the extension dot the file path, the file format, it is JPG. So let me save first of all and see if it will appear in our browser. Let me save. And so guys, you can see that this image is available here, but it's now very big, very big. You can see, you can hardly see the picture. So it's very big. Now I want us to use here the attributes to define the length, the width, the height, and so forth. So let me try with this example. Let me say add here another attribute, like for width. With this property, then an equal sign, and then you are going to give what? Let me try to give it open and close the quotation mark, and then here you are going to say what? You are going to say, like for example, the width, let me give it 500 pixel. We use pixel, and perhaps let me try to give it the width. So you close the comma, and then let me give it the height. I'm going to give it what? Let me give it something like 300 or 400. Let me give it 400 pixel, and then let me save and see in our browser. And so guys, you can see the images here, very beautiful, but the thing that I forgot here, the height should be higher value than the width, because this was a portrait image. Let me change here and perhaps give it let me give it here something like 300, even 300, and then here let me give it what? 500. Let me save, and then I see the changes in our browser. Control+R is to refresh, and then I guess now you can see it is very small. Very small. Let me try to reduce the height again, and the height, let me try to give it 400 and see 400 pixel, and then see the changes. Control+R, and then I guess you can see this is somehow good. You can resize it further, even make it 200 and so forth. Like let me try to make the height 200. The width, I'm going to give it something like let me give it something like 100 or 150. Let me save and see. Let me save here. Let me refresh. Control+R is to refresh. Control+R, and then I guess you can see it is very smaller now. So we use the attributes now to define, the attribute define or add more information about the HTML elements. And so guys, the other thing that I want us to know about the attributes in image, let's identify this attribute for the alternative text. So for example, sometimes you find that you've misplaced the image, so you might want to leave the text to tell the users or the the users that this was the kind of image that was here, but it was removed. So you are going to use this attribute here. Let me first add a comma here. I'm going to use what? ALT for alternative text, then an equal sign, then you are going to write what? You're going to write 2 quotation mark, and then in between them you are going to write the text that you want to add it here. So let me say beautiful lady, beautiful what, lady, or let me say lady, beautiful lady. And then let me now let me try to, like, now when you refresh in the browser you will not find the text. So like let me refresh, and then guys, you can see the image is still there. Like for example, what if you have misplaced the image, like let me try to change the name of the image. Let me just say image img to, let me just give it a wrong spelling here for the image so that it may not appear in the browser, so that you can see the text that will be there. So let me save, and then to my browser, let me refresh. You remember the shortcut Ctrl+R, and then guys, you can see that we have this this was a beautiful lady, and then this the icon for image. So basically what it has done, it has given the alternative for that image. So it will help the the users to identify that the image that was here, it was of a beautiful lady. So now this is all about the image. Now let's now try to understand, try to talk about the what, the link. So with the link, guys, we use the anchor, the anchor tag to specify a link. So we use the anchor tag to define a link, to define a hyperlink. So like let me add the start tag, then a for anchor tag, and then you do what, you close with the forward slash, then this angle bracket for greater than. Now the anchor tag usually have the the attributes, usually come with the attributes. So we use hyperref to identify the link that was here, the link, to identify the link. So to specify the link, the location for link, and then here in between these two tags you are going to write your URL. So like let me type in my website. And so guys, between these two tags you are going to type what, you are going to type your URL stand for uniform resource locator. So like let me type in for my website, it is hypertext transfer protocol with a secure extension here, and then open, and this colon here, this colon, full colon, then you're going to type 2/, and then let me see a name tag. This is my website. You can find the reference to this tutorial on our website, nametech.com. and then yeah. So the next thing now is to type in your text, the text that you want it to appear there. So like let me say this is name tag, or let me say learn, let me say learn all programming for free, courses for free. And so guys, by default the unvisited link, it is always blue with the HTML. So now let's save this document and see in our browser. So just Ctrl+S is to save, and then let's go to our browser. So in the browser you can see guys that the unvisited link is always underlined and it is blue. This just by default with the HTML. But now when I click on it, you will realize that the color will change to purple. So let me click on it, and it's going to direct me to my website when I click on it. And so guys, you can see that it has opened this website, but in the same window, in the same tab. So I want us to add here another attribute that it will open in another in another window, in another tab here. So to do that, we are going to use the here another attribute. Let me use we use the target. So we are going to use the target attribute. So let me say target, and then equal sign, then open 2 quotation marks, and in between you are going to write what? You are going to write a blank. You begin with an underscore, and then you are going to say what? Blank. So let's save, and then let's go to our browser, And then guys, when you click on this link, it's going to take you to a new or to a blank page or to a new tab. So let's click on it, and then guys, you can see it's going to take us where to a new tab. And so we have other attributes here, like the parent and the self and so forth, but I don't want to focus on everything, just to give you the basics. Now the other thing that I want us to talk about here is the table. Now with the table, we use before table, let's discuss the listing of items. And guys, we have the two type of lists in HTML. You have the ordered list and unordered list. So with the ordered list, we use the OL. Remember, you begin with the angle bracket for less than, then you are going to type what ordered list OL. Then you do what you close with the angle bracket for greater than, and then again you're going to do what you're going to close now with the / here, but remember it just resembles the first tag. And then here between these two tags, you're going to write what your list itself. So you're going to write to use the li to define the list. Now the items now li, and then I do what this is the first tag, and then content we are going to write it later. So let me add the closing tag li, and then I do what you close. Then in between here, let me add something like let me say HTML, and then let me duplicate this section. Let me just do it. Let me copy, and then here let me do it. Let me paste Ctrl+1. Let me paste several of them. And so guys, here let me try to change it and make it CSS. Let me change here to JavaScript. Let me change here to PHP. Let me change it to PHP, and then here perhaps let me give it a framework like a React. So what I do, let me save, and then let's go to a browser and refresh Ctrl+R, and then guys, you can see you have the list item, the list here, and then the ordered list. So the ordered list is numbered 1 to infinity, 1 2 3 4 to infinity. And then we have the other type of list, which is unordered list. So with the unordered list, we use the UL for unordered list. UL tag also, let me change to the end here, UL, and let me save, and in the browser let me refresh. So with the unordered list, we use the bullets. So when you refresh, guys, you can see you have the bullets. Or what I do, guys, let me try to copy. Let me copy this section and paste it at the bottom here, and then so that you can see the two type of list. And let me refresh. So here I'm going to change, first of all, let me change it to ordered list. So this one, let me give it ordered list. This is the ordered list. So let me save, and then here let me refresh. And so guys, so now you can see we have the unordered list, which is identified with the bullet, and then the ordered list is identified with the numbers like 1 2 3 4 to infinity. And so now the other thing that I want us to talk about here is the table. So now with the table, we are going to use the several tags here. So the first tag that defines a table is the table tag. You begin with the angle bracket for less than, then you are going to type what? You are going to type table, table, and then let me add the closing tag for table. So you close with a / here, and then you are going to say table, then you do what? You close with the angle bracket for greater than. And then the other thing that you write here in the table is now the table row. TR, we use the TR for table row, and then again the closing tag for the table row. So TR, and then you do what? You close. So now in the table row, you begin with what? The table head. So let me give it a table head here. So table head, we use the TH th, and then you close again, you close th, and then perhaps let me say again HTML, and then let me copy this line, let me copy this part, and then I do what, let me create several lines here, like a for 1, and then 2, this is 4. So here let me change to CSS. Let me change it to JavaScript, and then here PHP for backend, PHP. And then the other thing that I want us to add here now is the table content, now the table data. So after the table row, I'm going to add it for table data. You begin with the angle bracket for less than, and then you're going to type what, you're going to type TD for table data, and then you do what, you remember to close TD, and then between this table data you're going to type what you are so after this TD, and then I guess you ensure that this table row, this table data is inside the table row. So let me add here table row, TR for table row, and then here at the bottom again let me add what, the table row. So let me open and close and say TR, you begin with the closing tag, TR, yeah. Then you do what, you close, and then perhaps let me make it a single line here, and then perhaps let me say now this is HTML, let me say markup language, and then let me duplicate this section, and let me first of all copy, and then I do what, let me just paste it there. There are 4 items. So for CSS, let me say styling language. Let me say styling language, and then JavaScript. Let me say what? Let me say is now the programming language. Remember, HTML and the CSS is not programming language. HTML is just a markup language, then a CSS is a styling language. Now JavaScript is the programming language for creating an interactive web pages. So let me say let me say programming language here, programming language. Then a PHP, let me say server-side language, and then what I do, guys, let me save, and then we are going to see how awkward it's going to be unless we style it. So let me refresh, and then guys, you can see we have here this is the table with the HTML. By default, this is how our table in HTML looks like, and guys, you can see it is very, very ugly unless we use a CSS. But for CSS, I shall create a tutorial for it. And so guys, before we conclude the video, I want us to talk about the block elements and the inline elements. So the block elements usually begin in a new line, like the paragraph. We have the the heading. We have the lists. So it usually begin in a new line, but now the inline elements does not begin in a new line. The examples like the image, and then the links, the tags that have that likes the closing tag, the self closing tags, the remnants of XHTML, like this one. Let's go to a browser. And so guys, you can see this, the image, the img, and then this the link tag, the anchor tag. And so guys, you can see that this element here, it does not begin in a new line like these other ones. So this is a inline element, and then this one is a block element, like the paragraph, the heading. So these are the block element, the heading and the paragraph. These are the block elements, and then these remnants of XHTML, like the self-closing tags like the image, the anchor tag, and name it. They also the span. They don't begin in a new line. So basically, this is the difference between the the block and the inline elements. And so guys, this is what I wanted to show you for today, but remember HTML is broad, we haven't finished yet. So I'm going to recommend you to go to my website and you are going to find the complete course for HTML. So my website is www.nemtech.com. Then you are going to find the complete course, remember, for free. Let me try to zoom in. And so guys, this is the website. When you visit this website, you are going to find the HTML complete course for beginners to advanced programmers. So guys, thank you so much for your time. It has been nice. And so until next time, goodbye.